Hello, my dear astrology lovers and enthusiasts of astrology. I am happy to see you today, and today is the day that we are going to talk about Prince Harry and why. I don't know why. Maybe astrology is going to give us an answer to that, his birth chart at least. Okay, let's have a look at that. I, by the way, feel very happy to say that because we are talking about a person who is of a royal blood and his birth was important enough because he's a prince, even though the spare one, but okay, nevertheless, he's the prince. Of course, his birth, the time of his birth this time was documented precisely, and we will be able to have a look not only at the capacities, not only at the potential that he has, but also how this potential most probably is going to, at the patterns of this potential being brought into life. What happens? What is happening? Let's have a look. Anyway, looking at his chart, I can tell that he has got a very mutable horoscope. What does that mean? It means that in general, his nature is more about adapting to things. He is highly adaptable person to the ever-changing circumstances, which is great. He makes him very flexible, but at the same time makes him a little bit unreliable, a little bit impermanent, a little bit ambiguous sometimes. And besides, it translates into the person who has the predominantly mutable horoscope to be let's say susceptible to the influence of to be influenced by other people. Okay, so I mean, other people, this is an important thing, keep it in mind for later. It's a general characteristic of the person. That person can be influenced by other people a lot. Okay, next thing that we need to know in general is the configuration of the planet in his birth chart is in a way, they're configured in a way that creates a lot of intrinsic tension. And this tension needs to be released. So this tension keeps pushing him all the time. Inside, he's a person, like an uneasy person. He's always slow searching, like looking for something. It's hard to relax with this kind of configuration. And the receiving end of this tension is his moon, which is fortunately in his case is quite strong. I would say it's very strong. Okay, the moon is a very capricious planet. I paused because everyone, moon is not a planet, moon is not a planet, but it is called a planet just conditionally in astrology to make it easier, because sun is not a planet either, but it is called that just to make it easier. So moon is located in Taurus for Prince Harry, and that is a strong position. Moon exalts in Taurus. Besides, it has got, it doesn't have any negative aspects, which is great and very rare. Very, very rare people have moons like this, so strong. So even though it has to bear a lot of tension from the absolutely rest of the planets, from the rest 9 of the planets, it still is quite strong, so maybe it can handle this kind of pressure. What does moon in Taurus tell us about the person? That probably this individual likes to eat well, sleep well. Moon is in general is responsible for, let's say, bodily functions, for supporting our body intact and safe. That's why it can describe what makes you feel safe, what kind of fears you have, what things are important for you as a, let's say, biological organism, so on an everyday basis. So moon in Taurus it tells us that the person likes to eat well, sleep well, accumulate resources, meaning money or whatever resources they need, because they need this. This is their safety. They need to be sure that tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and 10 years from now, he or she is going to be able to still sleep well and eat well and being able to afford it. Besides, it's the comfort, of course. Comfort in everything. Comfort is extremely, extremely important for these people. Next planet, yeah, I'm not sure if I said that his chart, Harry's chart, has got 3 planets that are in exceptionally favorable locations, let's say, signs. And this is also very rare, and all 3 of them are personal planets. That's extremely important. It's a luxury. It's that it means that like the filters that he uses on the functions of this planet are absolutely adequate, and we will talk about that later. So Moon is one of them. The next one is Venus. Venus is in its domicile, in his case, in Libra. It means that it's a person, Harry probably is a person who was born a diplomat. He has a very good feeling of other people, how to build harmonious relationship with them. It means that he is very sensitive to the aesthetics of the things, to the aesthetical side of anything, person, or process. It's important for him that everything is neat, clean, and, attention, appropriate, needs to be appropriate. Otherwise, it's very discomforting. And he can bring and make things appropriately. You're not gonna believe this, but yes, he knows how to be appropriate very well. Besides Venus in our chart, besides the sense of balance and harmony, it describes in a male's chart, in a man's chart, describes the woman that he finds sexually attractive as a potential partner. So for him, this is a woman that is beautiful, that knows how to behave, that is well mannered, that is accepted in the society, that is very neat, that is, God forbid, is like a yelling kind of person. No, it's she does everything beautiful. She has everything that is beautiful. Nothing about her is makes you think that she's imperfect. And we are going to talk about the synastry with Megan later, but he saw that in her. Okay, it's very obvious to me from astrological point of view. So yeah, he has that, and this Venus has got only one also positive aspect with his Mars, and this is a sextile, and this is an aspect of opportunity. I don't remember, I'm not sure. I think it was in the Netflix series where he said, he kept repeating several times that, oh, and nobody can believe, and me myself neither, that a ginger got such a gorgeous woman, a ginger. I mean, I believe that he's not posing saying that. I believe because he has Sun in Virgo, and it's a very, let's say, shy sun that tends to underestimate its value and its impact on the others. But at the same time, looking at this aspect between Venus and Mars, I can think that probably Harry has rarely, if ever, heard a no from a woman. And okay, knowing that he's a prince, I think it makes sense. But ginger or no ginger, he's a prince. So that says that women, that aspect doesn't say that women were throwing themselves at him, but it does say that should he like a woman and show her that, make the first step, that probably the woman would meet his offer, let's say, his invitation to the relationship, willingly accept. Yeah, will accept this invitation willingly. So yeah, that also beautiful Venus. Moving on to the third planet, that is a jewel of the collection, is Mercury. Mercury is the way we think and the way we talk. And his Mercury is in domicile too. It is in Virgo, which tells us that the guy is very smart. He has a sharp mind. He can separate grains from the wheat. He can give priorities to things, prioritize them. He is a brilliant analyzer. Can you say that? He has brilliant analytical capabilities. Let's put it that way. He can put something like some complicated, let's say, issue to dissect it and to analyze it, put it together, and for him it's a piece of cake. It's a great Mercury to have, I would say, if I didn't see the rest of it. I mean, this Mercury, first of all, is on the cusp of the 8th house, and house 8 is responsible for the situations that we are that put us in crisis. This is the crisis situations, and also like a house that is responsible for pressure, and the very, let's say, unpleasant house. So stress, yeah, all of that things. So whatever it like how it is translated from the astrological language, that whatever the way that he thinks and whatever he says puts him in a situation of crisis, and or puts him in a situation where he is stressed and where he is under pressure. But that is not the end of the story. This Mercury of his, it has got aspect with his, even though it's a favorable aspect, but still it has got an aspect with Jupiter. And Jupiter, well, this would mean, normally this would mean fame, being like very recognized, well-recognized person, which he is. But the problem is that his Jupiter is in fall. Planet in fall in astrology is called in shame. Okay, why? Because using the principles of this planet usually brings a person to a situation where he or she ends up being in a negative light, being shown in a negative light, let's say. So Jupiter is about it has got like the principle of Jupiter is expansion, okay, expansion in the mind, and physical expansion, all sorts of it. It's about the authority, it's about the let's say help, and help and protect of other protection, sorry, of other people. It's the Jupiter is like a kind father, giving one, like Santa Claus, let's say, in Santa Claus of astrology is Jupiter, that brings presents. But the problem is that it is located in a sign that has got a principle that is opposite to Jupiter's principle, and it is under ruling of Saturn, which shrinks the things, crystallizes the things, decreases them. And in this position, the person, if you have this Jupiter that is connected with other planets and you can feel that it's working, you probably realize that you are important, you have an authority, but the scale of the authority, of your authority in your head, is a bit or a lot, I don't know, exaggerated. So that is why you, with your own two hands, end up putting yourself in the situations when you can be the laughing stock, or the shame, you know, the source of your own shame. And yeah, and that's not all, because this Jupiter has got a square from Lilith, which is like having a filter. Lilith, whatever it touches, it puts a filter on it, okay? So the kind of filter that it puts on this already damaged Jupiter is completely, oh, let's say filter on the phones. That's a good example. You know this filter on the phone that is like a negative? No, I don't know what it is called. Negative, I think. No, that makes black spots become white and white spots become black. So it reverses the color. So this is exactly how Lilith works for the perception of the person. It reverses everything. So whatever other people think is okay to you, that's not. And whatever you think that it's a great idea, other people are like, they what the hell, what is wrong with you, man? I mean, this kind of situation. So this is what it is. To continue this trine between this Mercury and Jupiter is so important because they create a bisextile. It's like a configuration onto the ruler of his 10th house, which is basically shows us his status. And it is about, honestly, I have to say that it's a lot of it is about the book. Like the first book that he wrote is Spare. Then he said that he has a lot in him, and I believe him. At the end of the day, I have to tell you that Harry is going to share a lot more things with us, because I think that there will be many more books, and maybe notoriously, but he's going to be famous for them. And yeah, I can tell you. Another thing that is important that I wanted to tell you about him is that he's one of the planets that is form part of his first house, responsible for this, his first house. And first house is how other people see us. This is our image for other people, let's say public image, our public face, and physical face for that matter too, but we are not talking about it right now. I'm talking about public face. It is conjunct with the star that is called, that I didn't put down the name. Anyway, it is a star that, let me look it up. Right, so the planet that has can be attributed to his first house is conjunct with Antares, which is a star that can tell us about some impulsive behavior, some thoughtless actions on the part of the person, some recklessness, stubbornness. A lot of it's, in some sources it is called a royal star. It talks about a lot of like fame and fortune, but over this kind of behavior can be lost. I think it plays out a bit, but I have to say that he's a rising Capricorn. So this is, and I was talking right now about the conjunction between the star and the Uranus, which is the next sign that is in his first house. So the first sign is Saturn, but okay, didn't have to realize that way. Okay, but I'm guessing that the intrinsic, this internal pressure kept pushing. Yeah, well, I think, like, long story short, I think that we are going to see, one more thing that I didn't say, it's about his Mars. His Mars is in Sagittarius, and it's quite an important note, because he and Meghan, at least in the TV series that I have watched, they are talking a lot about the charity, the works with the let's say public works, that it is very important for them to help other people, to make a mark, to make a difference, and things like this. And I have to say that for a person with his chart, it is it is true. They're not making these things up. It's not just to stay in the public eye. With this kind of Mars, it's very logical to suggest that the person wants to help everyone, that he or she would, okay, he has his own ideas, that he's highly ideological, that he wants to fight all the bad, to help, to promote all the good, and to conquer all the bad, this kind of thing. The problem of the Mars in Sagittarius, like he has, is that more often than not, this things that he starts don't come to any fruition, because he starts with a lot of energy, with a lot of enthusiasm, something, and then he switches to another thing, to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, and he doesn't finish what he started, and ends up having with a very little, let's say, output, having input at a lot. Another thing that to say about this kind of Mars is like the principle of I don't know, like it describes how a person goes into a conflict, how we fight, how we build our borders, how we trespass the borders of other people, if we have this necessity or not, how we defend ourselves and those that we love or think that are worth defending. So this kind of Mars is kind of, it can get a little bit carried away, let's say, with things, and it can go to the other side, where on the other side it's like being rude, for example. This person can this person can be easily angered, that has this kind of Mars, is very flammable, let's say. Yeah, up to a point of being rude to another person. So this is not the side that is visible to everyone, but I think that Megan had to deal with this more than once. Also, it is in this being in the sign, it is for this Mars, it's very painful issue is the issue of self-worth and authority. Okay, so if there is someone that is trying to challenge this person's authority, keeping in mind all the things that I said about Jupiter that rules this Mars, okay, there's going to be an ugly fight, which basically this whole story with the Megxit and Harryxit as well, for that matter, because I don't think that Harry was not like a suitcase that she packed and moved. He said yes to this. So Sussexit, let's say. So this whole story was about challenging the authority, and I think that the spare thing is also from the same thing, from the same story. I think that it is hardly that Harry will ever accept the fact as fair, that that it's just a fair fact of life, let's say. For him it will always be unfair that he's the second. But however, it's how things are going to stay, because he has got Saturn right next to his 10th house cusp, and that is hardly going to ever allow him to jump higher than let's say, than his head. Okay, to jump over a certain roof, to break this glass ceiling, like they say about women, but okay, whatever, in Harry's glass ceiling, let's say, in his that exists in his head. So yeah, but I think that the books are coming. Let's wait and see. Because I have the time of his birth, I can tell you that I can make a prognosis for Harry. Let me know in the comments down below if you're interested to hear what I have to say on whether or not he's going to make up with his family and what is going to happen with him in future. Yeah, a little thing is that in April 2024, the his moon, that is poor thing, under a lot of pressure already, is going to receive aspect of conjunction from transit Uranus, and that is going to happen. I just said that 2024 April, and in his case, that is going to be something that I'm pretty sure that we all are going to notice. This is something connected with his house, something where he lives, the place where he lives, or the news from the motherland, from the UK, or just okay, it's just a small thing to be careful, to be mindful about. So let's see. Not so much time is left. If you're interested in the prognosis for his chart, or there is any other person that you would like to hear a reading for, let me know in the comments down below. And for now, I'm leaving you up till the next time that we will talk about the synastry. In other words, about compatibility. Sorry. I hate it when I have to make videos when Mercury is not just retrograde, it's stopped, and not somewhere, it is stopped in Taurus. Like it could literally not be more still. And I feel like my vocabulary is one of a cave woman, you know. I'm struggling to find the words in any language that I speak, for that matter. Yeah. Anyway, I hope soon May come faster. Okay, anyway, I hope you guys had a good time with me, and we'll see each other in the next videos. Bye.